Good day, I'm Jonilyn P. Facun and I'm going to discuss Lesson 5.2, Affective Learning Competencies. First, we have importance of affective targets. Positive affective traits and skills are essential for affective learning, being an involved and productive member of our society, preparing for occupational or vocational satisfaction and productivity, maximizing the motivation to learn at present and in the future, and preventing students from dropping out of schools. And second, we have affective traits and learning targets. The term affective traits refers to a person's average level or typical amount of a given emotions. We have different affective traits. First is attitudes, interests, values, opinions, preferences, motivation, academic self-concept, self-esteem, locus of control, emotional development, social relationships, altruism, moral development, and classroom development. So we have attitude targets. Attitudes, internal states that influences what students are likely to do. What is internal states? Internal states can in some degree determine positive or negative, favorable or unfavorable, reaction toward an object, situation, person or group of object, general environment or group of person. Under ng attitude targets, we have three components or contributing factors of attitudes. First, we have unaffective components of positive or negative feelings. Ang example dito is yung isang bata ay gusto sa math or nag-e-enjoy siyang mag-solve ng problem. Ibig sabihin, nakafocus ito sa affective components, which is feelings. Second, we have cognitive component describing worth or value. Ang example naman dito is yung isang estudyante kayang i-describe or kayang i-evaluate yung mga activities sa science. Ang keyword dito sa cognitive component ay evaluation. So, third, a behavioral component indicating a willingness or desire to engage particular action. Ang example naman dito is, yung isang bata ay gusto sa math and binibigyan niya ng pagpapahalaga yung math and everyday nagsosolve siya ng problem sa math and ina-apply niya yun sa daily life niya. Ibig sabihin, nagpapakita yun ng behavioral components or actions. Under yun ng behavioral components. Examples of attitudes. We have a positive attitude and negative attitude. Under ng positive attitude, we have learning and ang negative attitude toward ay cheating. So, pag may learning, may cheating. And next ay science and history. And ang negative attitude niya ay drug use. So, bakit naging drug use ang negative attitude? Kasi karamihan sa mga estudyante or sa mga kabataan ay naku-curious kung ano yung mga nalalaman nila. At tinatry nila and then nagkakaroon ng negative attitude. And sa positive attitude, we have classroom rules. And ang negative attitude niya ay cutting classes. Some of student din ay hindi sang-ayon sa ibang classroom rules. So, para hindi nila ma-break yun, ay nagka-cutting classes na lang sila. Na isa rin sa mga classroom rules na ang bawal mag-cutting classes. Next, sa positive attitude ay teachers, and ang negative attitude toward ay dropping. Madalas or madalang lang naman siguro yung ganito, pero yung ibang estudyante ay takot sa teacher. Kaya yun yung nagiging rason kung bakit sila nagda-drop. Madalas masungit, mataray, yung teachers hindi kasundo, kulang sa communication. So, dahil doon ay natatakot yung estudyante, so nagda-drop. Next, we have value targets. Value refers either to end states of existence or to modes of conduct that are desirable or sought. End state of existence is condition and aspects of oneself and the kind of world that a person wants, such as safe life, world peace, freedom, happiness, social acceptance, and wisdom. Modes of conduct are manifested in what a person believes is appropriate and needed in everyday existence, such as being honest, cheerful, ambitious, loving, responsible, and helpful. In setting value targets, it is necessary to stick to non-controversial and those that are clearly related to academic learning and school and Department of Education goals. Below are examples of values. We have values and sample values target. Under values, we have honesty. And sample values target are students should learn to value honesty and their dealing with others. And we have integrity. And the sample value target is students should firmly observe their own codes of values. And next we have justice, and the student should support the view that all citizens should be the recipients of equal justice from government law enforcement agencies. And we have freedom, and the sample value target, student should believe that democratic countries must provide the maximum level of freedom to their citizens. Next, we have motivation targets. Motivation targets in education. It is the extent to which students are involved in trying to learn. Motivation determine engagement in learning in order to gain mastery of knowledge or skills. Students take learning seriously and give importance to opportunities to learn. Students who believe that they have the capability to be successful and that the activity they engage in themselves are important to them and relevant, they will be highly motivated to learn. Like attitudes, motivation is too ambiguous to use the general definition as an outcome because it is difficult to pinpoint the source of lack of effort and involvement. Macmillan 2007 suggests that motivation targets should focus on self-efficacy and value. This distinct by academic subject and type of learning, which is understanding, reasoning, and knowledge. For example, when students do something or engage themselves in activities because they find the activities interesting, enjoyable, or challenging, they are intrinsically motivated. Next, we have academic self-concept target. Under this, we have academic self-concept is the way Students describe themselves as learners. In setting targets, it is helpful to remember that self-concept and self-esteem are multidimensional. Marsh and Craven, 1997. Self-esteem is how students feel about themselves. Self-concept is how students see themselves. And last, targets are specific to subject areas will yield to a more useful information. Next, we have social relationship targets. Social relationship, a complex set of interaction skills, including identification of and appropriate responses to social indications. Example, in social relationship, we have peer relationship, and its target concerns are showing interest in others, listening to peers, sharing to a group, and group activities. And example of peers relationship is students will share their ideas in a small group discussion. And second, we have cooperative skills. Under target concerns are volunteering ideas and suggestions, supporting and accepting others' ideas, taking turns, and criticizing constructively. And the example of cooperative skills is student will demonstrate, negotiate, and compromise with others. And last, in affective traits of learning targets, we have classroom environment targets. We have the characteristic and its description. First, we have involvement. Students are interested and engaged in learning. Second is task orientation. Classroom activities are focused on the completion of academic tasks. Third, competition. The emphasis of competition between students. Fourth is favoritism, whether each students enjoy the same privilege. Fifth is influence. Each student influences classroom decision. Sixth, we have formality, the emphasis on imposing rules. Seventh, we have communication among students and with teachers. And the last, we have warmth. Students care about each other and show concern. And next, we have affective domain of the taxonomy of educational objectives. Bloom's taxonomy of education objectives. We have level, description, and its examples. We have the receiving or attending, responding, valuing, organizing, and characterizing by a value or value complex. Under receiving, we have concern with students' sensitivity to the existence of certain phenomena and stimuli. For example, is student does math activities for grade. Ginagawa niya lang yun para pumasa. Yun ay yung example sa receiving. Next ay responding. Concerned with responses that go beyond merely attending phenomena, not just willing to attend but actively attending. For example is, student gives attention to the discussion of math topic to be able to answer the activity. Dito naman is, nakikinig yung isang estudyante para masagutan niya at malaman niya kung ano yung mga sagot sa activities or sa mga assignments. Next, we have valuing. The students holding of a particular importance or value. Example is student actively and consistently participates in the math discussions. So, dito ay ang estudyante, yun nga, active and consistent nagpa-participate sa or during the discussion. And next, we have organizing. Students successively internalize values. They encounter situations in which more than one values is relevant. For example is student integrate the lesson learned in math and science. And the last is characterizing by a value or value complex. Students can be characterized as holding a particular value or set of values. For examples, students apply the lesson learned in math in his or her daily life. So, parang yung sa kanina is ginagamit niya yung mga natutunan niya at yung mga nalaman niya during the discussion sa pang-araw-araw na pamumuhay niya. Yun yung dun sa characterizing by a value or a value complex. Yun lang po. Thank you.